When the moon laughs, people bask in the light. The astrologers twinkled on the tips of the grass like a release from the midnight fog. It's quite Jenka when Nizham all around. Just then, that mother field is a great dai. On the full moon night, Jyotsana eats Helutoputi in the water of the pond. That is why the name of the dai is also the dai of the moon. A flock of fairies come to the banks of the dai to play with the animals. On the banks of the dai, the Pada fair is held under the moonlight. The fairies howled at night with astrology. At the end, when the moon dips into the water and invites the sun, they take a bath in the pond and return to their country. You think the second lie? With this hand. There was a great danger for them when you came to bathe in the dai of Sava. Come listen to my story today. China next states in the sky you see white clouds every day. Yes. Driving to the next state is one of them. Ride a white cloud raft and swim for 7 days straight to the north. From then on, 3 days to the south, I saw a huge red mountain. Its name is Hakam-Hutam. Beyond the Hakam-Hutam mountain is the land of the Pards. On the mountainside, you will see a palace that looks like a giant swan. The palace of the messenger king. The name of the next king is Vari Bitkal. So I don't come. The palace has 2 wings like a duck, right looks like 2 fairy princesses. Fairy and fairy. As an alternative to see scatter heavy information. He is also very good. Says bad things to someone. The people of the country love him. What am I talking about? If you don't visit Mishtipari go to state every morning after crowing, then no one in the state will wake up. How to break? All the fairies in the kingdom are sleeping with the sweet fairies, and mischievous. He is full to wake up. As ugly as it looks and so is the nature. Does not speak properly to anyone. All his talk is with the wicked witch of Hakam-Hutam hill. Everyone says nothing out of fear of the evil fairy, but no one loves her behind the scenes. Not even the flower garden of the sweet fairy of service mixed with the soil at once. Does anyone say that someone plants such a bad tree eat? The sweet garden of such a saint. He suffered a lot that day. Light in the moonlight G leaves in Bishan in such a night. Alta is barefoot where is the sweetie Mishtipari is very sad. Just crying and crying for 2 days. This word reached the ears of Pariraja. Hearing that the king is angry, my daughter says what happened. I will dress the evil fairy for this injustice. On that day Paji was banished from the kingdom. A bunch of fresh flowers were brought for Mishtipari. Mishtipari put them on her hands with great care. Look, see how the flowers have smiled before a few days have passed. The flowers bloomed within a week. The whole kingdom is filled with the smell. Meanwhile, being exiled from the fairy kingdom, the evil fairy went and took shelter in the old witch's hideout. From there, he sees the garden of sweet fairies in the magic mirror every day, and burns to death with jealousy. Tell the witch, you have to do one of these rituals. Hearing this, the evil witch bared her teeth and laughed. Says, Babish ne'er mischievous. Fundi I put it right. What is the trick? On the full moon ahead, all the fairies of the kingdom will go to the banks of the Dai. So what happened? I can't go to this gap, and mix the garden with the soil. That garden is surrounded by magic. I can't enter. Hearing this, the old witch laughed again. Then he said, this idea happened to you. Listen, but I am saying that Fandi opens. Say so. In the Dai of the moon exactly at midnight, where the shadow of the moon falls, just below it is a great Patalpuri. There is only Patalpuri, no human beings. My nephew, Dumata Cox has eaten everything. Knowing that I will do, hey don't listen. On the coming moon, you too will go down in the deep water like a good angel. I forgot there and took Mishtipari to the middle of the lake and went to Patalpuri in one dive. I will imprison Mishtipari there and give the key to my nephew Dumata Cox. The evil fairy became very happy with the old woman's cunning. In the middle of the night, the hooves of evil spirits and witches scurried around the cave and fell to the ground. The night of Jutsuno-hut has come and gone. When the night is in the middle, the moon is just laughing. Just at that time, the fairies came down on the bank of the lake, riding on cloud rafts with their wings. Red, blue, white, velvety, sparkling, no matter how many colors. Some of them are smiling and eating loot while off. A group of fairies went down into the water of the lake. Sweet Fairy doesn't like these hootings at all. Seeing a huge beautiful flower plant on the banks of the Dai, he wondered what it would be like to take it to the fairy kingdom. At that time, the evil angel appeared. Say, what are you doing, sweet? Look, the evil flower is not very beautiful. Does the fairy want to see flowers? At that time, there was a trickery going on in Tarpet. Today we heard the first part of this story. Must subscribe the channel to listen to the second part. Thanks little friend, he said, it's so beautiful.